Let's do a quick overview on getting the best range you can using the Revic BR4 Rangefinder. There's a couple features on the Revic BR4 that are designed specifically to help you get a range when you need it. And we've been in hunting situations over the last decade and a half where there's always something that makes it difficult to get a range. And I just want to show you a few targeting modes in the device, so that's a programming thing. And then I want to show you a few physical things that'll be good tips on how to get a good range. So the first thing that you need to understand is how the beam diverges on the rangefinder. We've got a little aiming rectangle in the center of the device. And when you look at that reticle, what you need to picture is that's the divergence of the laser itself. So top to bottom, left to right, that's where that laser beam is at. So that's the first thing that you need to realize. The second thing is always the tip is get steady. The more steady you are, the better you can range, the more energy you can put on your target. So knowing where that beam is, being able to aim discreetly, and then getting the rangefinder steady. And this new form factor is really small. Sometimes a small rangefinder is hard to hold. We've got a 1/4 thread on the bottom, so you can put a tripod adapter, and we've got a real small Arca Swiss adapter that's available that's really minimal. But you can put any tripod adapter on there, you can lock it in the tripod, and now you can take ranges really steady. So that's a first tip, is get steady. The targeting modes are a little different, and this year we've added a new one. We've kind of changed it up. We've always had like a nearest, farthest, strongest, and then kind of a scan mode. And this year we skipped the strongest and we just segregated with near and far. You can still do scan if you just press and hold that fire button and just keep holding it. It will just continue to shoot data downrange, collect it, and send you what the number is. So scan's still built in, but you don't have to change any modes to get there. But on the nearest and farthest, that's the things that are the most useful situations in hunting for, say, like a snowstorm, rain, standing dead timber, rolling, terrain, flat rolling terrain. So any of those conditions kind of ask for one of the targeting modes. So my favorite, personally, like the standard mode for me is near. So if you run nearest mode and then you use your display, and I'll just do a quick demonstration here at the 600-yard target bank. If you aim at that target bank and you press and hold that number, and you'll see the way that I'm aiming is that my rectangle encompasses the top half of the target. And I want to stay away from the bottom. And what we can do there is we can range the target itself, and then we can range terrain that's behind it. And you have energy that's slipping past the target and it's hitting the bank behind it. But because I'm on nearest mode, it detects the nearest target and reports that distance. So I'll use this extensively. If you're hunting antelope, you've got some rolling terrain, you've got some grasses that maybe come up past its belly, I'll use that square to just kind of come down on that antelope, pick up his head, pick up his back line, and it might be shooting, the dirt bank, 200 yards behind him, but because you've set it on near, it will only return just the antelope. If you can stay away from that ground scatter, it'll give you a good solution. So those round laser beams make it really hard to do this. We've made a really flat square one. Sorry, it's flat and rectangle so that you can discriminate really easily that bottom line. So that's my favorite tip for getting the best range. The farthest mode is absolutely necessary when you're trying to come up with a range in a tough situation like a snowstorm, rain, fog. All of those situations happen when we're out in the field and we're hunting, and being able to shoot past any of that interference and get the farthest range that the laser is able to detect, that can sometimes make or break a hunt. I can think in my mind of a couple animals that I wasn't able to get early on in our career because we didn't have a rangefinder yet that was able to do that. So that was a really big thing that we brought with the BR series originally, and we've doubled down in this BR4 series and made that a little bit more sophisticated. So the last thing that we've added in the BR4 is a long range mode. So whether you're in near or far operation, you can put long range mode on top of that. So when you're in the target menu, so that's accessed in the quick menu, you can go to the target mode, and then you can switch between near, far, long range near, and long range far. And when you get those set up, you'll see a difference. The near and far, you know, out to 1,400 yards, you're solid on almost any target you can come up with. You start pushing into that 2,000 yard range, you'll want to switch to that far target range, and you'll find that you'll hold the button down a lot longer, you'll collect data a lot longer, but it'll dig up really small targets really well at those distances. And then it'll start running out as you get further out, but the more steady that you have the device, the more you'll be able to collect that information. So let me do a real quick demonstration of changing the targeting mode so you have a feel for how you navigate that. So from the main display, remember the quick menu is just a short press on the mode button. So we'll do a short press, and now we'll use the arrow buttons to cycle to target, and then mode again selects that for editing. And now if I use my arrow buttons, you'll see up at the top the LR and FAR and everything's moving. So if I push it once, now I've got another reading and then another combination, and I'm just going to land on near. And once I'm there, I hit the fire button to save, and then I exit again with the fire button. So now I'm back to the main menu, and if you look on your display, you can see that it says it's just in near mode. So that's my favorite standard mode, and it's going to work for almost every situation that you can encounter. If you just remember that little secret of using that bottom line of the aiming display and the beam alignment, use that bottom line to make sure that you're not picking up any brush or scrub that's in front of your target. For more detail, make sure you go online, check out the digital instruction manual. It goes all the way in depth, and check out the Revic Optics video series on the BR4 rangefinder.